With each of our films at Pixar, it is so important to do three things really well. Tell a compelling story that keeps the audience on the edge of their seat, populate with memorable, appealing characters, and make the world believable. I don't know if you've ever had the experience on road trips or driving, when you pass some town that's barely a few buildings, and people live there. And you just go, it's like hours from anywhere else, and you go, why? What? And that's the feeling you want McQueen to have. It's like,
where am I?
Where are you? Shoot, you're in Radiator Springs.
Radiator Springs is a mythical town we've created on historic Route 66. When cars were traveling across the desert, they would overheat very easily. The founder of the town, Stanley, it was like a steam-powered car, and he was running out of water, and he found this spring. It's cool, refreshing water. It's like nature's own coolant. And so he just set up shop and first started selling radiator caps, because that's what everybody would lose. And so they would fill up with this nature's own coolant, and he would sell them a new radiator cap. And that's what the start of Radiator Springs was. When we come into the part of the movie where Lightning McQueen is in Radiator Springs, it's broken up into thirds. The first third is there to reinforce Lightning McQueen's opinion of this town.
We start Act 2 with a world that has absolutely no color. He looks around and there's nothing alive. Everything is dead. Yet somehow, characters survived in that world and they see beauty in that place. You're really playing with the psychology of lighting and color. As we progress and we have sunrises and sunsets, we start playing with the lighting on the set and start revealing the background hills. We start minimizing the atmosphere over distance. To a point towards the end, the whole town pretty much opens up. And the lighting on the town and on the hills, everything is looking magical.
When we went out on Route 66, I noticed that every town, every establishment, every building, you stood there and looked at it, and without asking one question or getting one answer, they were telling stories. The cracks in the road where grass was growing, the aged paint, a brick wall that had 3 different signs painted on it, the paint's peeled off and you could see all 3. All of these things told you that these establishments, this town, this place was once vibrant, was once full of life, but that's been a long time ago. I've been looking forward to seeing this place.
John, pressed metal ceiling.
Oh, look at this. Pressed metal ceiling.
Once you have a lot of research, you also are just finding inspiration within yourself, and so you're doing a lot of sketching and drawing or just writing things down, ideas that occur to you. And so there's a period where you kind of let all that gel and come together, and out of that usually comes themes or symbols that you want to use in the story. I felt that as humans tend to see their own forms in nature, that if cars were the beings in this world, that they would see their forms in nature. Ornament Valley grew out of sort of looking at Monument Valley. It really wasn't very hard to suddenly make this leap and look at forms of cars in these cliff forms. One of them is just an old Chevy, basically, that I saw in a ranch in the town I live in. There's a hood ornament for an old Willys vehicle that it was a wing-like structure. Some of these things looked absurd when you think about it, but once you got them in there and put rocks, textures on them, and that looks believable.
Come here, little tractor. Come here.
If you've ever been out to the desert or been to a small town, there's just a quality of that I think works in Radiator Springs. You just feel it.
This kind of detail, this patina of Route 66, this was extremely difficult to do with computer animation. The computer likes things perfect, perfectly clean, perfectly shaped, perfect. As soon as you put a crack in it, oh my goodness, have grass growing up through it. You make a brick wall and have multiple layers of peeling paint. Peeling paint is hard. All these things are so difficult to do, but you know what? I knew it was necessary to make this town of Radiator Springs be authentic. Make it feel like it's been there a long time. Make it feel like it had a history.